Why would you want to freeze an audio track or a MIDI track? There's actually two simple reasons for this. The first one, quite easy, is that because you're trying to free CPU usage. This could be because you're having too many audio tracks, MIDI tracks, and effects on your project, and it's starting to clip on your sound. And the way you can reduce this is that if you start freezing some of your audio tracks or MIDI tracks. This is as simple as going to your MIDI track, right-clicking, and hitting freeze track. Now, the other most important usage possibly for wanting to freeze a MIDI track or an audio track is because, let's say you're collaborating with someone and they don't have a certain audio sample that you made or have that you put into the sound, or that specific VST. Like for instance, I have Serum on here and they don't have that. Well, simply because I freeze the track, it kind of makes it audio. So whatever effects I put on there, so this is just a Serum, but let's say if I added an EQ and so forth. So let me unfreeze this real quick. And let's just add a quick like EQ on here. Let me just use the standard ones. Let's just say I've added all these effects and audio filter and all that. And let's just say, for instance, they don't have those. Say those are third-party ones. Well, what happens is that if I right-click and freeze, and then this is now frozen, you can say, I give it to my person I'm collaborating with. Oh man, dude, I don't have Serum. Well, luckily, because I freeze it, they can still hear the sample. Now, here are some of the additional pros for freezing an audio track or MIDI track. Let's say, for instance, the MIDI track. The great benefit is that because they don't have it either way, here's some of the great additional things about freezing. For example, on the MIDI track, they can still see your MIDI sequence. So they can actually go in there and see it. And that's fantastic. So they can either play off of it or copy it exactly. And that's awesome. So if they wanted to do a harmonic off of this or just copy directly, they can. And one of the great benefits is that, let's just say they didn't particularly feel your arrangement or they want to try something different. Well, they can mess with that. So they can go in there and cut it, for instance, right here. And now let's just say I wanted it right here. And on this part, they wanted to do double this right here. Well, they can do that and it'll still play the way it sounds. That's some of the great benefits about freezing MIDI tracks. The reason why you wouldn't want to freeze an audio track, for instance, is that they can see your curves, you did your cuts and so forth. So they're aware of that as well. So let me say, for instance, let me grab an audio sample. So let's go into my library real quick. And let's just grab, let me see, a bass loop. Okay. And let's say, for instance, I cut this part right here. Of course, if I flatten the track or push it out as in stem or audio, they're going to see that. But let's say they specifically want to see where you cut it exactly. Well, if I freeze it, they're still able to see that. So they can go off, okay, you know what? Hey, I know where he exactly cut it. So these are some of the great benefits about freezing a track. One, it frees up CPU usage, but the main thing is they still get to see the true audio or the rawness of your MIDI track or audio track. And that's such a great addition to have. And that's why, honestly, I recommend you get Ableton. It's so easy to use this type of stuff, and especially when you're trying to collaborate or with people and artists, they can just see exactly what you did. And they can see exactly what plugin. So they can, if they were curious, oh, he used Serum. Let's say, for instance, I had a Pro Q3 on there instead, and he used a Fabi Filter's Simplin to filter. Well, they can, and they can see the settings you use too. So these are some of just the great benefits of freezing a track. Well, I hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial. If you please did, subscribe and please follow me on TikTok, and I'll catch you guys on the beat. Bye.